So I recorded this video yesterday actually, and I don't know if I was tired or what was going on, but when I watched it back this morning as I was editing, I realized it was the most monotone review that has ever existed. And the novella I'm talking about today does not deserve that. So we are gonna try this again. Hey everyone, it's Courtney and I'm here for my first video review. Today I'm going to be talking about the Factory Witches of Lowell, which actually comes out today, November 10th. It is a Tordotcom sci-fi fantasy publication. First off, I want to give a big thank you to Tordotcom Publishers for sending me a free copy in exchange for an honest review. I enjoyed this novella. I went in wanting a quick, heartwarming story. Witches are always a bonus. I love stories about witches, and that's exactly what I got. And there were a few things that I was a little disappointed about, which I'll go into more detail, but overall I'm giving it a 3.5 out of 5 stars. So the Factory Witches of Lowell is about a group of girls in Lowell, Massachusetts who work in a cotton factory. When the novel begins, their board, which is controlled by the owners of the factory, has just been raised, but their wages have not been raised to accommodate that. So they're getting paid less than they were. They're already working in super unhealthy conditions. There's not a lot of ventilation, their shifts are really long, and plus they have to perform what is called the kiss of death, which is where they actually have to suck the thread through a corn husk in order to thread their looms. But when they do that, they actually inhale cotton lint into their lungs. So these girls are basically being shut up in these rooms with no ventilation, no sunlight, and also inhaling cotton into their lungs. So they're developing basically tuberculosis. And so a lot of the girls are sick with these uncurable coughs. So right at the beginning of the novel, we meet Judith, who is new to the factory, and she has decided that she's going to lead the girls on strike. But she had just tried to lead her prior workplace on strike, and they kind of failed at it because a lot of the people caved. So they decide to use witchcraft to solidify their strength and also to weave them all together so that no one can break the strike unless all of them break the strike. So Judith is aided by Hannah, who is a seer, so she can see the future. Hannah has been in the factory longer than most of the other girls, and she has developed a pretty bad cough, which early on as a reader you kind of come to realize that it's probably not going to get better. But you can also see these sparks of a budding romance begin to form between Hannah and Judith. So it's kind of bittersweet knowing that there are some feelings between the two girls, but they're also on sort of a short timeline. The romance does not play a central part in the book, I think mostly due to its brevity. It is only 123 pages. So while it's a quick read, which is great and exactly what I was wanting right now, but that also means that there are some areas that are a little underdeveloped, and one of those was the romance. I was okay with it because these are young girls, so it was more of a YA first crush, first love kind of story rather than a full-on romance heavy read. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was really cute, but if you're going into this wanting a romance heavy or a romance centric read, you're not going to get that here. This story is more about the ways in which women can use and inherit power, witchcraft being one of the primary sources of that. I was really interested when I saw the Factory Witches of Lowell online because I had just read Quan We Ride Upon Sticks, which is another story about teen girls using witchcraft to come into their own and be their own person. So when I saw this, and then you also pair in civil disobedience and unionizing, I was 100% in. I went into this wanting a heartwarming, uplifting story, and that's what I got. I left this book feeling happy and hopeful, and joy is a hard thing to find right now with everything that's going on. So I 100% recommend this book. I will say I was a little disappointed by the witchcraft itself. It felt a bit lacking. I don't want to say that it was cheesy, but it kind of was cheesy. Had the witchcraft been a little bit more groundbreaking or a little more fully fleshed out, I probably would have bumped this from the 3.5 stars that I did give it up to 4 stars. But because I was disappointed in that aspect, I'm going to go ahead and leave it at 3.5 stars. But don't let that stop you from reading this. Like I said, I left this book with a sense of joy, which is basically all that I can ask of a book right now. And I do have really high standards for Tordotcom novellas. They published Upright Women Wanted almost a year ago now. I feel like it's been a while. But they published Upright Women Wanted a while ago, which has gone down in history as my favorite novella of all time. So I have very high standards. And I'll link my full review to Upright Women Wanted below. If you're interested in witchcraft or coming of age stories or stories about underdogs and fighting for just causes, and you want the bonus of an adorable queer romance, then absolutely The Factory Witches of Lowell is worth your time. As I mentioned, its publishing day is today, November 10th, so you can officially order it online or go to your local indie bookstore and see if they have a copy on their shelf. If you end up reading it and you like it, or even if you don't like it, post your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to chat with you about it. And until next time, like, follow, subscribe. You can find me on Instagram at notsowellread, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye.